Okay. Sorry, folks. I think we're with you now. We had some technical difficulties there getting the stream running, but I think we're good to go now. As we're here in Harrison Valley for the Lady Gators first round playoff game against Northern Potter. These two teams have played twice in the last 2 weeks, with Northern Potter pulling out a one-run victory in both games. 4-3 the first game in Port Allegany, and then 2-1 here last week in Harrison Valley. In the field for the Lady Gators today, Bria Wilcox is on the mound. Maddie Eric behind the plate. Peyton Gordon's at first. Lily O'Rourke's playing second. Third base is Gianna Glasgow, and Bryn Evans is at third. And standard outfield, Sienna Lathrop in left, Emily Eric in center, and Elena McCurvey in right. Leading off today for Northern Potter is going to be catcher Lily Steele. And she's going to line the first pitch up the middle, and Glasgow is unable to control that one, and Steele is going to be safe. The Lady Gators did get a runner on the top of the first before we could get the broadcast running here. Maddie Eric drew a walk and was able to steal second base, but the Gators struck out the last two batters, and Lady Panthers got out of the inning. So that'll bring up shortstop Risser, and she takes a ball that goes off the backstop, and Steele is able to advance to second. And ball two to Risser. And Risser fouls that one off foul. That goes back out of play. 2-1 count here. Ball three's outside. And a swing and a miss there on the changeup. So Wilcox works a full count here to Risser. And ball four. Nice scoop there by Maddie Eric as Risser's going to take first. Runners on first and second, no outs, with starting pitcher Jalen Willamy up to bat for Northern Potter. She squares the bunt and takes a ball. Ball two high. And ball three. 3-0 count here on Willamy. And a 4-pitch walk to Willamy. That's going to load the bases for the Lady Panthers, with right fielder Kayla Hyde coming up to bat. Quick timeout here from the Lady Gators as Coach Daniels is going to head out to the mound. So Hyde digs in here, no outs, and the base is loaded in the bottom of the first for the Lady Panthers. And she takes ball one. And that one's back to Wilcox. Off her glove. Nobody's covering first on the pitch. And the Lady Panthers are going to get a run as Hyde drives in Steele. And that'll make a 1-0 here with the bases still loaded and no outs. That'll bring up the center fielder, Kibbe. She fouls the first pitch off. Mr. Thomas is going to check that out. We have Corey Thomas behind the plate today. Ron Burr at first, Ronnie Batshaw at second, and Gary Johnson at third. That pitch is a little outside. Willoughby with a huge lead at second. Swing and a miss there. So 1-2 count here on Kibbe. And Wilcox tries to catch the outside corner, but the ball tails away a little bit. That'll make it a 2-2 count. And that one's drilled back to Wilcox. Wilcox goes home, and there's a collision at the plate. Kibbe runs into the catcher. But the run's going to be safe. That's going to make it 2-0 on the fielder's choice here for Kibbe. And that's going to bring up the first baseman, White. That ball bounces in, but blocked by Matty Eric. And White fouls that one off. 1-1. Another foul ball. Pitch is outside. 2-2 count. And now it's popped up behind first. O'Rourke's going to go over. It drops fair. And Willoughby's going to score. That's all that's able to advance as the other runners had to hold the bag. And that makes it 3-0 for the Lady Panthers. No outs. And the furthest ball hit's been about 3 feet behind the dirt. That'll bring up the second baseman, Jacoby. And swing and a miss for strike one. Ball one's high. Swing and a miss there for strike two. And that pitch is a bit low. And another pitch just a bit low. Full count now. Again, no outs. And that's lined to second. O'Rourke is going to go to first and try to get the out. That ball's dropped. And another run is safe. Hyde comes in to score. And that's going to make the score 4-0 with no outs. And Riley Knowles, the left fielder, up to bat. Ball one called. Ball two outside. And that's lined with the middle. Glasgow, the nice play. She goes home. And the throw's not going to be in time as Kibbe scores. And so an RBI on the fielder's choice there for Knowles. And the bases remain loaded with no outs, and now a 5-0 count. Third baseman Prince up to bat. And Matty Eric blocks that pitch. Ball one. And that pitch is high. Ball two. Swing and a miss. Ball three high. And ball four. So the Gators walk in another run. The Lady Panthers have now batted around with leadoff hitter Lily Steele back up to plate. Still no outs, and the base is loaded. Steele takes a strike for ball or on first pitch. And that one's lined to right field. McCurvey comes up. She gets that back into second base. 2 runs are going to score. Steele's going to head to second on the throw as it rolls to third base. And that's going to make it 8-0. Still no outs in the bottom of the first. Ball 1 to Risser. Risser walked earlier in the inning and came around to score. That one's fouled off over top of the passing car. Swing and a miss there for Risser. We'll make it 1-2. And that's lined into right field over Gordon's head. McCurvey goes over to get it. 2 more runs are going to score. And Risser's going to stop at first on the RBI single. And that makes the score 10-0. Ball 1 there called to Willoughby. As Eric snaps it down to first, but Risser's able to get back. And that ball's grounded to short. Glasgow flips it to second, and the Lady Gators have their first out as O'Rourke beats her to the bag. So Risser heads off as Willoughby replaces her at first, and Hyde will be coming up. Swing and a miss on the changeup. And Eric almost catches Willoughby off the base, but she dives back in under the tag. Ball outside, 2-1 count. And that ball's lined right center. That's over McCurvey's head and off the top of the fence. Hyde's going to stop between first and second. The ball comes in. She's actually going to make it to second as Willoughby goes to third, as the ball was inches below the yellow line at the top of the fence. So that'll bring Kibbe back up. Still 1 out here, bottom of the first. And the Lady Panthers have a 10-0 lead. And that pitch is high. And low, 2-0 count. And 3-0 count on Kibbe. And the umpires are going to call time here. Looks like Mr. Thomas is going to have a conversation with Mr. Burr. And ball 4. So Kibbe's going to take first, and White will come up. White singled to right. First at bat this inning. And she comes up with the bases loaded and 1 out here for the Lady Panthers. And she lines that one foul. Umpire's going to check it, make sure no marks as we get it back to Wilcox. And another shot line down the right field line. McCurvey's over to get that as White rounds first. That's going to clear the bases on the line drive double for White. So that makes the score 13-0 here in the bottom of the first, as the 7th place hitter Jacoby comes up for the 2nd time of the inning. First pitch is outside for ball 1. That's fouled off straight back. 1-1 count. And that ball's off the end of the bat. Gordon's going to field it, and she's going to beat her to first for the 2nd out as White advances to 3rd. So good hustle there by Gordon to get the 2nd out for the Lady Gators, and that'll bring up Knowles. Knowles grounded into a fielder's choice first plate appearance. And that foul ball rocks the camera. And that ball's grounded up the middle. Glasgow over to get it. She stumbles, but she's able to get her. That throw goes all the way over the dugout, but the Gators are out of it. Finally 3 outs here as they gave up 13 runs in the bottom of the first. Huge gap to overcome here as they've struggled to score on Willoughby both games this season. The 3 runs they did score in the first game came off a hide. Willoughby came in that game later in the game in the 4th inning and struck out 12 of the 13 batters she faced. So coming up for the Lady Gators here will be the DH Alyssa Tanner, followed by Glasgow and then Bryn Evans. So Lady Panthers are ready quickly. Just a couple of warm-up throws for Willoughby. And Tanner will lead it off. And Tanner lines that one down the right field line. It's going to be foul. And that one's lined to right field. So Tanner gets the hit. And Hyde's going to get that into second. The ball rolls to third. Tanner's going to go to second. And she beats the throw. So she'll get a single and an error on the right fielder on the throw. And so the Gators have the leadoff runner at second. And that'll bring up shortstop Gianna Glasgow. Glasgow hits that off the end of the bat. White comes off the first to get that. And Tanner gets back to second. And that'll bring up third baseman Bryn Evans. Evans with a foul tip. Swing and a miss there for strike two. And strike three called on the inside corner. And that'll bring up first baseman Peyton Gordon. And Gordon fouls that one off. Ball one outside. And Gordon grounds on up the middle, gets off Willoughby's glove. And the throw is dug by White. Tanner tries to slide in at home, but there was already 3 outs. So great play there by the first baseman, White, as she picked up the errant throw from Risser and hung on the bag. We're going to have a conversation here. The runner hasn't left first yet. Gordon thinks she was safe. Ron Burr's going to come in and talk to Mr. Thomas. And they agree that she was out. So we'll head to the bottom of the second here with the Gators trailing 13-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds. swing and a miss there for Prince as she leads off the inning. You are all obviously welcome to go back yourself, but we checked the replays here in the booth, and it looked like the call at first was accurate. Looked like White hung onto the bag with her foot. And then even if she was called safe, it looked like the throw beat Tanner home, and she would have been out anyways. Foul ball there. So a 1-2 count here on Prince. And ball 2 outside. And ball 3's outside. And swing and a miss. So first out of the inning there as Prince heads back to the dugout. And Steele will be up for a third time today as we just start the bottom of the second inning. And a swing and a miss there on the changeup. And that's off Steele, so it's going to be a foul ball and an 0-2 count. And Steele flies that one to right field. McCurvey's over, unable to get there. Steele's going to round second and head to third, and she's got a stand-up triple. Nice wheels there by Steele. And that'll bring up Risser. Risser singled on her last plate appearance and has also walked. Swing and a miss there. Another changeup that the Lady Panthers were well ahead of. And Risser tries to bunt that one, but it's going to go foul. So an 0-2 count here. And another foul ball. And pitch is outside. Eric with a nice stop to keep Steele at third. And another pitch outside. And ball 3 bounces in. And another foul ball for Risser. Count remains full. And ball 4. So Risser comes back from an 0-2 count to draw a walk. And that'll bring up Willoughby again. She has walked and grounded into a fielder's choice. And ball 1 as Risser steals second. So 2 runners in scoring positions here for Willoughby to help herself. And she takes a strike on the outside corner. Foul ball for strike 2. And a swing and a miss, but that's dropped by Eric. She throws it down to first, and that hits Willoughby. And Steele's going to come home. And I think that ball caught Gordon in the mouth as she's got blood dripping down. And we're going to have a timeout here. All right, looks like Gordon's going to stay in the game here. All right, and that'll bring up Hyde. Hyde is 1 for 2 today with a single and a double. She takes ball 1 as Willoughby jogs down to second. And that ball's fouled off. Out of play. So Lady Panthers again with 2 runners in scoring position. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. And that pitch is high to Hyde. And another foul out of play. And a swing and a miss that Eric catches. That'll be the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Kibbe. Kirby is grounded into a fielder's choice and walked. Big run on third here for the Lady Panthers, as that'd be their 15th run and put them in position for the 15-run rule if they can hold the Gators in the top of the third. That pitch is high. As Risser heads back to third. I'd expect her to be aggressive here on anything that gets past Eric. That ball's low. Eric's able to stop it. And a swing and a miss there. A 2-1 count. That bounces in, and Mr. Thomas blocks it for the Lady Gators. 3-1 count here. And that one's grounded to right field. It's going to get past O'Rourke. McCurvey comes up and gets the ball. Well, it's supposed to go to second, but it goes all the way to third. And that'll be a 2-run single for Kibbe. And that makes the score 16-0. And that'll bring up White. White is singled and doubled today as well. She takes the ball 1 as Kibbe gets a big jump at first but heads back. Ball 2 as Eric tries to catch Kibbe running, but that ball's dropped at second. So a 2-0 count here on White with a runner in scoring position. And that one rolls in. Kibbe thinks about going to third as Eric fires it down, but Kibbe goes back to second. And a 3-0 count here. And White chased that change up to 3-1 count. And ball 4. So that'll put runners on first and second. Still 2 outs. And Jacoby will be back up. That ball gets past Eric, and both runners are going to advance. Swing and a miss there by Jacoby. She is 0 for 2 today. Although she did reach on an error in the first inning. And she fouls that one off towards a dump truck driving by. But it's behind it and bounces across the road. 1-2 count here. Bill Howard's heading over to pick up that foul ball. We'll update you when he gets back with the foul ball. And ball 2, 2-2 count here. Ball 3 low, but Eric knocks it down. Full count here with 2 outs. And that's the line down the right field line, but it's going to be foul. And a swing and a miss there. So that'll be 3 outs as Panthers do score 3. And that makes the score 16-0 as we're going to head to the top of the third. Lady Gators are going to have to score 2 to keep the game going. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, as you can see on the camera, Mr. Howard did return, and he came back with 3 balls. So a productive trip for the District 9 representative. And Lady Panthers are ready to go here as 2 of the balls have been there, I think, since last game. The umpires roll them out. But anyway, Emily Eric will lead us off here for the Lady Gators. She squares the bunt, and that's going to be a foul ball. And she tried to bunt that one and missed. So an 0-2 count here. Not sure what Prince was doing. She charged in foul territory. Or maybe she was grabbing her sunglasses. All right, that makes more sense. And swing and a miss there for Eric. So out number 1 for the Lady Gators. And that'll bring Lathrop back up. Lathrop struck out in the first inning. And she fouls the first pitch back and out of play. And another foul ball for Lathrop. And strike 3 called on Lathrop. So quick 2 outs here for the Lady Gators, and that'll bring up catcher Maddie Eric, as the Lady Gators may be down to their last batter of the season. And Eric pops that one up towards third. Prince calls it, and Kibbe comes in and collides with her, and Eric's going to be safe on the error. And that'll bring up Bria Wilcox. Wilcox also struck out in the first inning, as Maddie Eric has reached twice for the Lady Gators. And Wilcox takes a ball high. And ball 2 as Eric takes a big lead. Steele will walk her back and get the ball back to Willoughby. Ball 3 inside. And strike 1 called there as Eric's going to steal second. As the ball ricochets off her shoulder, and second base went flying when she slid in, so we've got a time. Three 3-1 count here on Wilcox with 2 outs, and now a runner in scoring position. And Wilcox takes strike 2. Full count now. And Wilcox is late on that pitch, or swing and a miss, and that's going to be the ball game, folks. So Lady Gators show vast improvement from last season, improving from 3 wins to 12 wins. But in the matchup with the District 9 runner-up Northern Potter Lady Panthers from last year, they're unable to hang tonight, and they'll start working on next season. Thank you for joining us this season, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Go Gators.